Good afternoon. Welcome to a special meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. It is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025, 4 p.m. First order of business is to call to order this meeting, and I'll take a roll call. Mr. Secretary, please.
Lauren Flick is present. Lester Lamone.
Here.
Mike Madone.
Here.
Penny McPherson.
Present.
Mildred Wentz.
Here.
And it appears that Chris Jenkins and Rich Millard are absent.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We have established a quorum, so we can act on business today. So, yay, thank you. Our second agenda item is approval of minutes. Did everyone receive their packets?
Yes.
All right, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of May 28th.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Additions, alterations, corrections? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and call the vote. Mr. Secretary?
Lauren Flick, yes. Lester.
Yes.
Mike Madone.
Yes.
Penny McPherson.
Yes.
Millie Wentz.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Our third agenda item this afternoon is repeat performance. So our first one was practice, but I think we got it down. This is going to be a public hearing based on an application for local historic designation for the George P. Smith House at 222 Griffin. Lisa.
Thank you. This is a public hearing and consideration of a motion to adopt a resolution to initiate the process for the designation of the structure at 222 Griffin Avenue as a local historic structure pursuant to the city's municipal code, section 12, 30, and 90. The name of the property is the George P. Smith House, or the Smith House. It's located at 222 Griffin Avenue in Lot 9 of Block 1 in the Catlin Second Edition in Canyon City, originally South Canyon. The current owner is Lab Grown Projects, LLC. And the owner was noticed at least 15 days prior to this public hearing, as well as signs were posted on the property at least 15 days prior. The house was originally constructed in 1898, and the original owner is George P. Smith. We do not know the architect or the builder or designer of this property, and the house has never been moved from its original location. The George P. Smith House is a 1.5-story brick house which reflects two different architectural styles popular at the time of its original construction. Its folk and Edwardian styles are evident with its multiple gabled roof, simple porch columns, and window accents. The two large leaded glass double-hung windows on either side of the front entrance are original. The exterior of the house is the original brick, which has never been painted. The wood lap siding at the back porch is original, along with the brick chimneys and the stone foundation. The house has many of its original features, including the double-hung windows, original interior wooden floors, window trim, floor moldings, pocket doors, fireplace mantel and tile, floorboards, and the main staircase with baluster. The back kitchen, pantry, and back entrance to the house are also original. The structure has undergone a few minor alterations. The upstairs entrance and the metal frame or metal fire escape along the west side of the house were added, likely when the house served as apartments. The side door entrance on the east side of the house, off the parlor, appears to have been added later as well. As mentioned in the application form, the house has suffered from many years of neglect and deferred maintenance. There are cracks and separation visible in many areas of the exterior, and the windows have been poorly repaired, and the front leaded glass windows are deteriorating. Also noted in the application form, the old knob and tube wiring is still used in many areas of the house, as well as the old galvanized pipes. As per the Fremont County Assessor's records, the house was constructed in 1898. George P. Smith, an early settler to Canyon City, owned the land and the house. George and his wife Elizabeth settled in South Canyon in 1869, moving onto the homestead of Elizabeth's brother-in-law, William Catlin. The Smiths acquired the land on which the house currently sits prior to 1880 and raised their 5 children. According to an account of Ada Smith Baker, one of George's and Elizabeth's daughters, the family's first home on the property was destroyed by flood. Before building this house, George Smith served as a guard of the Colorado State Penitentiary from at least 1876 to 1884. And according to the 1880 U.S. federal census, George was suffering from a gunshot wound. It is unclear as to the circumstances of how he acquired this injury. He worked as a day guard and later served as captain of the night guard. The house served as a retirement home for George and his wife. The couple's youngest son, William Bill Smith, lived with them and eventually took ownership of the house along with the surrounding lots and 9 acres to the north in 1908, 12 years before his father passed away in 1920. Bill Smith continued to live in the house until his death in 1940. He was a very prominent cattle rancher and stockman, having one of the largest stocks in Fremont County, between 3,000 to 4,000 heads of cattle. He was widely known and respected within the industry. According to his obituary, he was a shrewd trader, and at times he ranked among the wealthiest men in the county, and in contrast, had been heavily in debt. Among his acquaintances and friends were Warden Roy Best and prominent local ranchers Grant Atkinson and Paul Huntley. Other buildings on the property served as apartments for ranch hands and other renters. In 1927 to 1928, Sidney Kid Belt and his wife are listed as living at 222 Griffin. Sidney Belt was a noted featherweight boxer in Colorado, holding 3 state titles. Other noted occupants of the house were the Ireland family from 1943 to 1951, according to an interview with Oscar Ireland and his daughter, Carol Ireland McNew, dated February 2000. The family moved to 222 Griffin with adjoining 9 acres of pasture to the north across Griffin Street. John and Edith, Carol's paternal grandparents, lived on one side of the large Victorian-style house, and Oscar, Marjorie, Donna, and Carol lived on the other. Carol Ireland McNew later became a prominent civic leader, serving on multiple boards and commissions, including the Fremont County Heritage Commission, the Fremont County Historical Society, and our very own Canyon City Historic Preservation Commission. Finally, well-known local artist and sculptor Sheldon A. Roberts lived in the house in 2005 and 2006. He is the artist who made the large metal sculpture of John C. Fremont, which currently stands in Pathfinder Park. Under these findings of fact, this structure meets the criteria for designation as listed in the city's ordinance. The original building and construction of the property took place more than 50 years ago, and the building has gone only a few minor alterations. And the property was owned by or occupied by many notable people in Canyon City, including George P. Smith, his son William Smith, Oscar Ireland, and his daughter Carol Ireland McNew. As this is a public hearing, staff recommends the Historic Preservation Commission, cites these findings as of fact as stated in the staff report, the application form, and the city's ordinance explaining the commission's authority to hold a public hearing on this request. Furthermore, staff proposes the Historic Preservation Commission votes to support the resolution recommending City Council's approval for the George P. Smith's house located at 222 Griffin to be designated as a local historic structure. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we also have the owner of the property here as well.
Thank you, Lisa. Are there any questions for staff?
I have a couple.
Okay.
There are other buildings on the property. Are they being proposed to be designated as historic also?
Just this house.
Just the house?
Yes.
Then there's a retaining wall on the west side that appears to be near enough to the house that I guess it could affect it structurally. Does this property own that retaining wall? And it's got two buildings up next to it. Looks like it's the neighbor's buildings, but I wondered who owned the retaining wall.
So the property line, actually, as it was subdivided at some point, runs very close to the western edge of the driveway, or of the house. The driveway and that wall, and then those two buildings are owned by 220 Griffin.
Okay, I was just curious if someone wanted to alter that wall or do something with it. Is there a chance it could affect this house?
I'd have to have an engineer probably
Okay.
look at that, but it's probably 40 or 50 feet away from the house, and it
Oh, it's
at
that
the
far. I rode my
where the
bike
house-
over there and looked at it. I can't remember all the dimensions were.
Yeah,
Okay, so
when
it's a
it-
long
where-
ways away.
Where the house is actually in the shortest part of the wall as well.
Okay,
I think the wall would have a greater impact on where the sort of cottage is in the back, and then also the neighbor at 222 and a half.
okay. So to be specific, we're asking to designate just that two-story brick house as a historic structure.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Can you please make a note that Rich has joined us, Mr. Secretary?
Yes.
Thank you. Hearing no questions, Lad, gosh, you just sat down. If you would, state your name and address for the record, and would you like to submit anything else for this, in support of this application?
Sure. My name is Lad Bosworth. I live at 222 Griffin. And I guess I would say that I'm excited to be the owner of this house. I think it has a really prominent position right next to the park and a really visible spot where it will continue to be an example of Canyon City architecture and history. And I look forward to doing appropriate renovations to extend its lifespan for another 100 years.
Great. Any questions for the applicant? You already had your turn. Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir. At this time, this is a public hearing, so at this time I'd like to open the room for public comments. And hearing no public comments, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion of this agenda item and bring it back to the bench for a motion. There is language in your packet.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission adopt the staff report dated May 28, 2025 as findings of fact to the commission, and to initiate historic designation in the form of resolution number 1 of 2025 attached to the staff report for the structure located at 222 Griffin Avenue in Canyon City, finding that it meets the criteria for initiation of designation per section 1230.090, criteria for designation.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll go ahead and call the roll.
Lauren Flick, yes. Lester Limon,
Yes.
Mike Madone,
Yes.
Penny McPherson,
Yes.
Rich Millard,
Yes.
and Mildred Wentz.
Yes.
Motion carries. Lad, thank you for your second appearance. we'll pay you for this appearance, you know. Hey, there you go.
In something.
In something, yeah. Thank you very much. Our fourth agenda item today is a Design Guidelines Committee report. Mr. Flick.
We had our most recent meeting a week ago and continued to go through the document that we have taken from the city of Salida and made it into our document. And we went through all the way to page 29. We'll start on page 30 at our next meeting, which will be next Wednesday, the 25th at 3 o'clock at the new Chamber of Commerce building, the old train station. Did I get that all right? Okay. We seem to have hit stride with this, that we're getting into things that don't seem to generate much comment or a lot of discussion. So my expectation is that we will probably finish our initial review of this 50-page plus or minus document in June. My expectation is, or what's June already? In July. And my expectation is that in August, we will review what we have edited already and do one final review from start to finish. And so my expectation is that in August, we will probably be done with the document and it be ready for review by the city and other people that need to review it before it becomes official.
Any questions? Questions or comments? Thank you for your report. Our next agenda item is announcements. Lisa.
This morning, I attended the South Central Regional CLG Forum. It was a meeting amongst members of different commissions within this region. And it was very informative and got to meet some people that I'd heard about but not seen in person, which is great. They're planning on doing more of these throughout the year. One of the things that was brought up, and you might have received some emails too, this weekend is the Saving Places on the Road in Pueblo. They still have some spots available, so if you're interested, you can register for that through the Colorado Historic Preservations, Inc. You can even do a la carte events too, so if you're not able to do it the whole Saturday and Sunday, there are certain events in the evening, I believe on Saturday, and there's tours on Sunday too that you can register for individually. The next CLG webinar is going to be July 16th. The topic will be the State Historic Fund, which is the grant opportunity that they'll have. And then the other event or webinar that you can register for coming up at the end of June, Thursday, June 29th. It's presented by the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions. It's going to be on creating and updating historic design guidelines. That is a registered event that there is a cost for, so if you're interested in doing that, please let me know. We might have some funds available for you to attend that training.
Thank you very much. Any announcements from the board while we're on this topic? Nothing from the bench? Everything okay? Very good.
Actually, I do have one more thing. Next week, the museum is going to be doing a historic bike tour through Lakeside Cemetery on, I believe it's Wednesday, from 5:30 to 7. You can register for that via the museum's website.
Just for clarity, the tour is historic or the bicycles are?
The bicycles are your own.
Okay.
They're not.
So they could be
But the
historic.
historic, yeah, we go around the cemetery and we talk about the different people who were buried out there.
Thank you. Our next agenda item is public comments. Is there anyone in attendance today that would like to make a comment? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and close the public comment. And our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025 at 4 p.m. Our regularly scheduled meeting for next week has been canceled. This meeting is in its place. So If that's on your calendars, you may cancel that. You have my permission to go ahead and cancel that. And reschedule for next July 23rd. We are adjourned.